Hi, Daniel.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's happy we are both on time.
Yeah, we changed the summer time the summer singing time also in Spain this week, so we are at our usual time right now.
It's made a long time confused. I saw news that the United States, they are passed this bill, a new bill that they want to make this summertime permanently, I think.
Yeah. In Spain and in Europe in general, it was discussed to do that. And basically they took like 2 years to study what to do. And they decided like, hey, after 2 years, we still don't know. So we'll see. So quite incompetent in our side,
Yes.
but
This is the right action, I believe.
yeah, I don't think it makes sense to start changing 1 hour plus or minus. It's not worth it, I think.
And let's just wait 1 minute to see somebody, if anyone would join us. The last time issue raised about primary reference, I think one of the maintainer had replied. Have you checked it out?
I check it out. I will add it also to the agenda. I need to answer because I think that it was probably misunderstood in some sense. So I will try to discuss a little bit further and then put a response, but it was quite a very busy week and I didn't have to craft the proper response.
Yeah. Let me just share the screen. I think let me first discuss this guy proposal. You can see my screen, right?
Yep, I can see your screen. Okay, so if you want me, I can go ahead and put and comment on this. So basically, the proposal was on how to make easier for different components to interact among themselves. And the thing is that I think that what the answer was, I didn't remember who answered, wonderful answer. It's okay in the sense of, hey, in KubeVela, we are using something similar, but I must say that the proposal was among components inside the same application entity, not within a component. So I check out the X definition documentation. I don't think you can do that at the application level. You can use that context inside a component, if I'm correct, but you cannot do it in from the outside. So that's one of the comments, let's say. Like, I don't think you can do that exactly at the application level side. And also, I think that we are making a little mistake here because this is for OAM spec. So it should be, let's say, like what is on the specification independently of KubeVela does this. So I think that it's pretty much similar in the sense of, hey, if the name is context, I'm okay, like saying like, hey, let's call it ref, value, context, something like that. But I think that we need something that will work for an application. So instead of, I don't know if you get what I mean by the application. So let's imagine, I mean, if you go up to the first example I put there, so just try to, I don't think you can do this actually right now from what KubeVela provides as a runtime even, more than it's not supported by the spec. Like if I need to say in the first component, hey, these parameters need to have the value of the name of the second component, how can we do that? Basically, that's the main issue. And that's why I say like, hey, in pretty similar to what you use for context dot something, which is going to be interpreted by the runtime. It's not a literal value, let's say. I think we should try to put something in there. Because if not, if we try to provide this information for users or create tooling around it, it's gonna be difficult for us to say, when you write database, is that the name of a component? Is that a literal? What does it mean, you know?
To be honest, I'm not quite understand why Wonderful's answer couldn't solve your problem. And at first place, of course I agree with you that he lists example of examples are from compose definition is from KubeVela. I can see the standpoint is not based on the perspective of OAM. But still, I think
yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean,
yes.
But I don't think like if you go to the sample and it says like spec template and it has spec containers, the name there says context name, which is okay in the sense that, hey, that will have the name of the component that we are in. I'm great with that. The thing is that if we need to connect two components in an application, like WordPress and MySQL, how can I say to WordPress, take the name of MySQL as a parameter? Because you need to connect to that MySQL instance. And what I didn't find in KubeVela, maybe it's possible, right? And maybe I didn't found out, right? But I think that the difference with this example is I would like to see this context name being used in the application entity. If that is possible, like two components and one can reference the other, that will solve my issue.
You mean between applications?
Inside the application entity, let's imagine you had, right now you have this hello component, right? What if there is another component and I need to say to the hello component that you need to connect to another one? And instead of typing like names and things like that, I would like to have a reference.
Right.
So with the sample that I put there, it's just like, let's imagine MySQL and Word or something like that, which is like quite a useful minimal example of, I need to specify in WordPress, which is the host that I need to connect to with MySQL. And we are typically using like, hey, you just write down the name that will effectively match the name of the service in Kubernetes, right? But what if we can do it programmatically? Like just take this parameter.
I'm still quite a little bit confused. How about I think you can reply your questions on
Yeah,
the
sure.
thread, and then you check the whole context with OneFlow and to see what the real problem is. It seems
Sure.
like that one of the solution didn't fix your problem, but I couldn't see why.
I mean, my main issue this week was like I was quite busy in another stuff, and I didn't have the proper time, you know, to put an example and a countersample even. So I will do that this week.
Yes, it's okay.
So
it's okay.
We can continue the thing. I think it's just a matter of either this context.name. My understanding it does the scope for that. It only exists within the component. If I try to use something similar at the application level, I didn't find any. That will be the summary. But anyway, I will answer that. And yeah, sure. I mean, I will continue the conversation.
Yes.
We say the sample and the answer. So I will try to continue with that, but I didn't have proper time to do that this week.
I think the critical thing here is that because OneFlow is trying to explain the way by using examples of KubeVela, which is not quite familiar for you. So I think this is the gap where makes this thing a little complicated. But I think after you apply in this thread again,
Yeah,
let me check with the both protective perspectives of yours and his, and I think I will get to know what's the main point of this.
sure. I'm getting up to speed with KubeVela now.
Mhm.
We are moving forward into using that as the runtime internally. So I'm getting up to speed now with that. But
Yeah.
it quite possibly be that I just missed part of the documentation, or it is possible and it's, it's not documented or something like that. It could be. I don't know if that's the case. But anyway, I will answer that and we can continue the conversation with that.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks again. And also, I want to share some news with you that, and I think a quite big bank in mainland China. What's the ancient name of it? I couldn't remember. It's a bank created not by the country, but from how can I describe this type of enterprise? It's a people-owned company, okay, and it's a like the biggest one in China, and they did some research about application management, and they found the platform of us, OAM and KubeVela, and they decided to have a deep connection with the community. And that means they will vote up to 10, maybe 10 persons full time to help the community evolve, like the next version of KubeVela, and of course the future versions of OAM spec. But still, I think the point we want to make here is that it's the point that we have been raising up in the past, is that we truly want to solve the real world developers problem. So that's why we are involving with these, like the bank I just mentioned, they facing some business challenges, and they used KubeVela to test if this solution will work out or not. So that's why they find KubeVela maybe is a quite good approach. So they are giving it that. So good news. So this is good news, and this is also, I want to sync with you and to see if your company, also your product, are using KubeVela to do something, and is that process smooth, or is there any problems you're encountered with?
Yeah, from our side, as I mentioned, we've been evaluating this for some time. It is the right time right now to move forward and change the runtime to KubeVela. So we are in the process of starting that to update internally the runtime and things around it. So yeah, in that sense, we will be more involved even in, apart from the spec, let's say, I aim to send some pull requests to a KubeVela code to also contribute in that sense, right? I will still be more on the side of the spec itself, because I think it's something that we need to take care of it. But yeah, I think we are moving forward into that direction. Once it is ready and in production, I will send you also a link and all the information. Because I think that with a solution like ours, for example, even for people to try out, like, hey, what does it mean to deploy an OEM application? And I don't need to install even a cluster or something like that. They can go there even for, we can put some basic examples just for people to try out and have a place to start playing around with OEM.
Yeah. And also for spec, I think maybe it's time to draft for next version, and in the last Hongzhao then had raised this planning and have to say we want to draw some ideas has been testing in KubeVela and proposed for the community for OAMs back to draw in and let's just test it out. And I think the many is about workflow and policy API. And right now, I don't know if you're quite if you are familiar enough with that. So I'm not quite sure, but I think this part may be the main draft for the next version of point 0.4 version of OAM spec. And what do you think about this?
I will need to go through this again because I think that there was this post that created all the controversy and things like that, and probably we only read up to the here are the official answers. I will need to go again and see the specific actions. Like there were some concerns in the past about workflow and policy, and I think we need to review them again. Let's say. And check again with this stuff. Like I was taking a look, for example, about the policy in KubeVela. I think even there are some CRDs that are still need to be fixed. Like it's been renamed in some places.
Yeah,
it has not been renamed in others. But from what I can remember about policy, the chain with the scope and policy, it was not, let's say, community decided. So, but anyway, I can check this out and have some comments on this for the next community call, I think.
Yeah, thank you. And why I'm raising this up is also, and I think I don't know if I have synced this in message with you. Another big cloud provider named Tencent Cloud. You must have heard it. Also,
yeah, sure.
Also the third Huawei Cloud, Tencent Cloud, and also AliCloud. I think they are the biggest players in the market of mainland China. And these two cloud providers, they join us to say they also follow the idea of OAM spec. That's why we all here. OAM spec has the core value of making application shipment more easily. And they too agree with us, and they show the draft for like the next version of OAM spec. And I think they all agree the basic layer, basic infrastructure of what OAM spec is right now is like the application, the component, the trades, and the undecided part, workflow policies is still being testing, and we are not hurried to propose for merging workflow and policy. I just providing the context that I think most of the part most of the part they all agree, and it's not only about AliCloud using KubeVela to test user scenarios. It's about Huawei Cloud, also Tencent Cloud. They are testing their user scenarios and say, oh, this is also right. Only they change the names because for the sake, for the good, but still the ideas are the same.
Yeah. So I think that in terms of workflow, if you go back to the list of issues, I think probably it's still open. You can go back.
Go back to
the list of issues in OAM spec.
Okay, sorry, wait a minute. Issues, yes.
Yeah, so just the list of issues. You go to 461. This is just the next one. There was a proposal for a workflow that was I submitted that just the next one. 461.
461.
461.
461. Okay. 461. I can just change the URL.
Yeah. 61.
461. Oh, sorry. One.
Yeah, 61.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we proposed also these when we started talking about workflows and things like that.
Mhm.
I need to let's say review this
Mhm.
because I think part of the discussion on this in the past was like we are seeing the workflow as an upper entity, like
Mhm.
let's say it's not within an application. It's just something that if I feel more, it could be much more powerful if we put it outside of an application.
Mhm.
And it was kind of decided like, hey, no, this is what is implemented and we should go ahead. But I will take the time, try to review like which is the current status of this, because for sure it has drifted. I mean, this is for June for last year, so there should be a lot of changes with this and new
Yeah.
ideas also from our side. So I will try to review this and let's see how we can evolve probably or something like that. Or
Yeah.
at least let's consider this also this type of point of views of what if it's not within the application, it's just an external entity or something like that.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. That's I
But
think.
yeah, I'll take a look to the 4.0 and we can try to start working on that.
And of course, and I want to bring this up again is that I think I encourage you to use the real world user scenarios to propose the idea. I think this is more saving time for you, us also better for the ambition that all of us want to save developers time, right? By using OAM spec. And all these concepts as mutating trees, I don't even know what this is, but still, why we are using this is as we are validating these things and the real world problems. So it's still it's also gonna like save your times and get you out like the times you are constantly thinking it, but it's still if it's not a validation of what will truly work, right? So
okay, I will try to get a combination of both. I think it's important, like it should make sense. I mean, there are some problems that you don't need to, let's say, which is the component to find out that it's a problem. But I also agree with you that also provides kind of an easy method to get a fast understanding of what is the context and what we are talking about. So I will try to do that.
Yes, because OAM spec, I believe, is past the status that like we only know a weak problems we are gonna solve. So we build a model fast first, then we drop on some features and engineering it, make it a project and give it to the users and to test why what they are feedback what are the feedbacks about this project. Then we get feedback back and to recycle our model. So I think now the whole OAM spec and KubeVela is getting to this phrase that we getting feedbacks from the users, and let's draw the true good golden opinions from the users and draw it back to the OAM spec and make it truly valuable. So I believe that you're also agree with this spirit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that there should be kind of an equilibrium, right, or a trade-off between it shouldn't be an academic exercise. It should be practical, but at the same time, like there should be also a limit into changing too much to test it out, because people can get burned. Also, like the users can get tired also of like, hey, you cannot change a standard, or even if you are trying like 1 week after the other, because people will get confused. So I think it's just a trade-off to try to go into both directions, like maintaining like, hey, what is the long-term vision or something, and also being able to experiment with, hey, what if we do this, and how people think about it.
Yes, thank you for consideration. How about this? Let me just introduce the new version of KubeVela, and this maybe
Sure.
speed up your understanding of this product and get it work with your product. So currently we are releasing,
Sure.
I believe just about 1 day ago, 20 hours ago, we released 1.30 beta 1. So it's another milestone, and you can see what's new. Basically, the first one is about multi-cluster deployment with more policies. So this is it's a new way to engaging with the workflow step. So you're trying to testing out the ideas of what workflow should be in OAM spec. You can just dig this one per. And for Vela UX, which is providing for developers not using like CLI, using kube control, all of that, just throw them away and use a simplified front end control, front end website to control all the things you want to do. And this time we have different roles. I think this is also critical for you, because this is a critical step for the ability that we could providing for business customers, like the role, the permission settings, RPA says that you can setting for different roles of the project, then the members of the team will have different access permissions, right? This is an essential step for enterprise software. And also a new concept project introduced, which means the applications in the past, you are all listing at the page of applications are isolated from the concept of project. Like we have, let's say we have a team of Wei and we have team of Daniel, and Daniel team will maintain all the application only belong to this project, right? And a friendly Helm component configuration. This is a quite useful, because in the past, I think the most frequently using are Helm chart, right? But I think the user experience isn't that smooth. But right now, this version have improved it a lot. And this is a critical one. I think we have been hearing many from the communities that are saying the data is from CLI isn't synchronized to UX. So meaning like we create a multi-cluster, we join a multi-cluster in CLI, but we couldn't see the UX. So this is kind of weird and strange for users. So I think for this time, data is synchronized, but still in Vela UX is read only. I believe there are more future steps for this one. And this one is relative, but it's unrelative, but it's for Chinese developers. So they will have Chinese. It's a good thing. They have a Chinese to read the Vela UX. Yeah, I think most of it. And I believe 1 week also we will be releasing 1.30 stable release. So at that time, I think you will be more happy about it.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, I often have some. I have some questions, but I will put them on Slack about some dependencies and things like that took a look
Yeah.
the other day on the course.
Yeah.
Uh,
That will be more
uh,
useful. Mhm. Just shoot out any
Okay,
questions when you are trying out Vela, KubeVela, Vela UX, or Vela add-ons. Just shoot out any questions you have in the Slack.
yeah, sure.
Mhm. Great. Do we have it? Oh, I believe we have Abelard. Time no see. Hi, Abel. Can you hear us? Do you have any questions? I see your mic isn't muted, but we couldn't hear you. Still couldn't hear you. Daniel, can you hear him?
No, I can hear you either. I can hear him either.
Maybe about earphones, I believe so. I encounter this problem all the time. And for today's agenda, just discussing the new updates to KubeVela 1.3 and share some news that the community is co-working with the biggest merchant bank. Like, I don't know the term for this, but this is the company owned by people, not the government. And also we have been co-working with Tencent Cloud and Huawei Cloud to evolve these OAM spec in mainland China. I think they are planning to build a up layer of OAM. Still, the core ideas around application component trees are in the same page with them. And welcome to try out version 1.3. Okay, I believe Abel wouldn't be able to join us for this. It's pity, but we still have next time. So how about how we call it end, Daniel?
Yes, I mean, I will do what I said on my side. I will answer the question and try to clarify a little bit with an example or something like that. And yeah, we can work on that.
And I don't know, I have give you the congratulations. I believe I saw the news that your company have investments coming in, right? And
yeah, we raised an investment in December past year.
Yeah, nice. I hope we are doing well, and let's to see what's the real.
We are trying, but the good news for OEM is that people are liking most of what they are seeing from our side, the feedback that we are receiving. People don't especially like Q, at least the ones that we are talking with, but the whole idea, we are starting to connect with more and more companies. So yeah, I think it's good news.
Great. Hope you have a great journey on this.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We'll try. We'll try for sure.
Yes, we're all trying. Hang in there, and see you next time.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys.
Yeah. See you, Abelard. Good night from China.
Bye, Abelard.
Bye.